A very good morning to all. Today we have come here to understand what is GST. As many new students get scared by the word GST. It's basically a very simple tax if you are clear by the fundamentals. You can solve any problems. Now let us come to the main thing. First point is what is GST? You have to remember GST is a comprehensive indirect tax on the supply of goods and services. It is a destination based tax levied at the point of consumption. It has submerged many central and state taxes into single taxes. Earlier to July 2017, there were number of taxes like the excise, VAT, octroi, etc., which has been merged into one tax which is called GST. It ensures a seamless flow of input tax credit and reduces cascading effect. Now the next question comes, what is the structure of GST? Basically, there are three structures in the GST. One is IGST. I stands for Integrated GST, which is levied by the central government and then distributed to the state government. The other one is CGST and HGST. C stands for central. The word itself, C, stands for central. So it is very easy to remember that it is the central government levy the tax on the intrastate supplies. S stands for the state. Hence, it is very easy to remember. It is levied by the state government on the intrastate supplies. UT GST in the place of HGST. If it's a union territory, then the union territory levies the GST and it's called UTGST. Next point, let us come to the supply under GST. Supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, license, rental, disposal, made for consideration in the course of furtherance of business. You should understand that the main essence is it should be in the furtherance of business. If it is not be in the furtherance of business, then it will not come under GST. For example, if you are giving a gift to your friends or relative, then GST is not applicable on it and you need not discharge any GST. But if it's be a furtherance of business and it is being sold or barter, for example, you give something and you receive something in return, then also you also have to pay taxes and your friend or other person also has to pay GST as it comes in the furtherance of business or in the course of business. So this is a very important thing which you have to remember. Time of supply. Friends, the fourth very important point is time of supply. There are two different types of supply. One is for goods and other is for services. Goods generally the earlier of the date of invoice or the date of receipt of the payment or the date of the receipt of the goods before the movement of the goods, the date of invoice. Basically, what happens if the goods, if you receive advance payment or if you receive invoices before that, but now this advance payment there is no GST on the goods. Only when it moves or things like that, then the GST is applicable. So you have to understand in the case of surveys, it is the advance payment you have to pay GST. But in the case of goods, you need not pay GST on the receipt of the advance, only on the supply of the goods. You have to make the payment. So, here one correction has to be done in this infogram, that in the goods, it is the supply of the goods or the date of invoice, whichever is earlier. Payment is irrelevant. In the case of services, it is basically the supply of the invoices or the date of the receipt of payment or before the provision of services, the date of invoice. The value is the transaction value, that is the price actually paid or payable for the supply of goods or services, where the supplier and the recipient are not related and the price is the sole consideration. Includes taxes, duties, fees, charges levied under any law, cost of transportation, insurance, packing, etc., charged by the supplier, incidental expenses incurred by the supplier. The value of supply is very important because GST is applicable on the value of supply, so it has to be calculated in a very systematic manner. In most of the cases, it will be the transaction value itself, but where the transaction value is not determined, there you have to apply the rule for valuation, which is section 15. You have to apply the input tax credit. ITC is the credit of the GST paid on the purchases, which can be set off against the GST liability. Conditions for the availing ITC: goods or services received for business use, tax invoice or the debit notes in the possession, goods or services received by the recipient, tax actually paid to the government, return filed by the due date, block credit not allowed, personal use, food and beverages, club membership, rent a cab, etc., as per the law, are the block credits. Documents. The seventh important point is the documents. Tax invoice, credit notes, and debit notes are the three basically documents which are followed in this GST. The returns under GST. GSTR 1, the details of outward supplies. GSTR 3B, the supply summary returns for the tax payment. GSTR 2B, auto drafted ITC statement. GSTR 9, annual returns. Purpose: ensure transparency, match and reconcile data, prevent tax evasion, the facilitate ITC flow. What are the basic things for the returns under the GST, which is mentioned in this infogram? You can read it and understand it. Then the payment of GST, the GST payment are done by electronic cash ledger, electronic credit ledger, combination of cash and credit. Refunds can be claimed in cases such as export of goods or services, payment of tax in excess, inverted duty structure, tax paid under protest. GST benefits: the single tax across India eliminates class testing effect. The supplies becomes cost effective, boosts business and economy, promotes ease of doing business. The key takeaway from this infogram: this is created beautifully by the ChatGPT. There are some smaller gaps, but like the time of supply is not properly given. But if you see, it's a very beautifully created, very easy for the students to remember. So You have to means master this thing in a beautiful manner. We will try to improve this presentation in the coming days as the AI will learn to correct the mistakes. But I thought how this will help you in a bigger way. So thought of presenting this video to you. You can subscribe to the channel and give your comments that you like this type of learning so that I can provide you free of cost both CGST, HGST, IGST, income tax, and various other company laws matters in this type of presentations so that it will be very handy for the students to remember and write in the exam. Thank you and subscribe to the channel if you like, and God bless you.